Hey guys, what's up? New raid, 12 bosses, Throne of Thunder, and there's a lot of strats for all of them, so let's get it on. First guy is named Jin'rokh the Breaker. Honestly, easy, super easy fight. It's a new Void Reaver. It's tuned so low that if you are behind on gearing and you're kind of like also doing the previous tier for catch up, this boss is so lowly tuned that you can also pop in once a week and do him without too much pain or trouble. So that's nice. Really simple mechanics. Closest thing to a patchwork you're going to get this tier, so it's a good DPS test to try to sort of flex out and see how you're doing as a group. The I guess the most critical role, in my opinion, is what the tanks are dealing with. The boss will periodically do this quick strike and apply this little static wound. It's that 10 stack little thing that looks like a shaman cooldown that's on my debuff frames in the tanks. They'll apply that. You know, it looked like it's about every 10 seconds or so, but what it does is it increases damage taken. But what's also bad about it is when you do take damage, it also kind of damages everybody else. So that's the tank swap mechanic to ensure that you're bringing two tanks in this encounter. So taunt when the other tank gets debuffed with that. Also, something that's going to screw up your tank rotations, as you can see in our video here, is he'll pick one up and he'll chuck them into the wall, and then they'll shatter into the wall, and they'll make this little pool in the ground, and that's what this big gray water is. People who are standing in the pool take a lot more nature damage, so as a tank, you never want to be standing in the pool of water, but if you're a DPS and healer, you do want to stand in it because it gives you a bonus to your damage and healing. So, like, right on, I'm an atonement priest, so I benefit from both damage and healing, so of course, like, I chill out in the pools, like, full time if I can help it, and just roll my atonements the whole time. This is the healer check to make sure that you're not, like, cheesing it. We're doing this with two healers here. Basically, clump in the middle of the room while he does a lightning storm. It's not too bad, but it does require a 3-minute cooldown, so our rotation here is barrier the first one, totems the second, and then rinse repeat if we ever get another phase like that. And then the one mechanic you can see, the people kiting off these little lightning orbs. These orbs are called focused lightning. Basically, what you have to do with them is, if you get picked for it, it's only one person every couple of seconds or so in a 10-man. As you do what I do, see, you run out of the raid, make sure to let it hit you because it'll stop chasing you if it hits you. The other thing is it does damage to you while you're moving it, so you can't drag it through the water here that spawns, and you also need to make sure that it drops way outside the water. It's probably an instant raid wipe if you detonate it, if you let it hit you while you're standing in this water, because everyone standing in the water gets electrocuted. So that's just the only other mechanic. I'm spec body and soul here. As soon as I see somebody getting debuffed with it, I'll like give them a speed bubble and they run out of the side of the room, and then they drop it next to each other, just like safely away, and that way nobody takes extra damage from them, because if once they're dropped, they will sit there and continue to pulse some damage out, but it's really light. But, you know, unnecessary and unavoidable as long as you're smart enough to drop it outside the raid. Here's what it looks like when it hits you in the water. Like, I was moving to the middle of the room to start my spirit shelling. I had no idea one was chasing me, and I stood in the water that was already from the previous phase there. It's electrocuted and sitting behind the boss right now. So that's what it looks like. It instantly kills you. Don't do that. But as you can see, like, the requirements on DPS and healing are so low here that, you know, our one shaman healer was able to solo heal through that phase without my help. And yeah, this boss, this is like, a few of us knew what the strategy was for him, but we didn't do a whole lot of research for it. We just kind of winged it, and this is our first attempt ever on it. So plenty of mistakes to be seen here, and as you can tell, like, it's pretty lightly tuned and free gear for all. But don't worry, the trash after this guy is like 4 times as hard as the boss.